Good afternoon. It is the Everton Daily Live. Me and James, or James and I, really, that is the correct. You should correct me on that because it seems you've got a master's in stuff.
Journalism.
Yeah, but if you've
It's
got
not like proper English, though, is it?
if you've got a master's in journalism, then you should correct me on my.
You should be saying an I.
Yeah. James and I. I knew that anyway, but.
Yeah, but it's different how you speak to how you write, isn't it?
I just don't like giving you the props when all you ever do is come in and close that I've got no attachment to this company.
What are you in?
I'm wearing stuff underneath because I'm cold. But mine is like literally no branding on it, so I'm not like advertising anyone else. I feel like you're advertising. I feel like every day you come in and
I can't come in my Christmas jumper though.
I know, to be fair, we do need to give you some proper stuff. It's Monday and Everton have just won a game of football, so that should be joyous. It should be joyous, but why does it feel slightly less than joyous just in the back of our heads? Probably because two of our most important players got injured on Saturday. But listen, those two players could have got injured and we may not have won the game. I mean, we had to play the last 10 minutes with 10 men, for God's sake, which is just mad, isn't it? Isn't that just a mad rule?
I thought as well with that rule that you're only allowed 3 breaks
Windows.
yourself.
Yeah.
But if the other team do a window break, then you can also put a player on. I thought that was the rule, and I think that makes sense in my head, but obviously you're not allowed.
I just find it crazy that you've got subs available and you can't make them, and that actually is bad for the rest of the players' welfare because other players then have to struggle. Yeah. And I find that absolutely mad, to be honest.
Yeah.
That you could, you know, they didn't. And the other side of it is you mightn't want to take a player off, and a player mightn't want to come off knowing that you're going to go down to 10 men.
Yeah.
And they could hurt themselves even more. That's I don't get that at all. It's a crazy situation.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
It doesn't make a lot of sense. But listen, we got the 3 points. Back-to-back wins. Heading into very, very tough game on Saturday. No matter what anyone says, it will be a tough game, and it'll be one of those where it's like, you know, the desperation for a win on both sides will be absolutely huge. But it was just nice to see us winning away without, like, don't get me wrong, we didn't play amazingly. We got the goal, didn't we? And when we just defended for our lives second half, it was just to get over that line, down to 10 men, having all the extra minutes injury time in both halves was just nice.
Do you think it was more refreshing though under Moyes, because I feel like we've been used to sort of trying to hold on to like 1-0 wins where we get like a scrappy goal, but this time, you know, he wasn't as reliant on, you know, Pickford making, you know, 3 really good saves. I think Brighton only had 1 shot on target in the end. I think for me that was a clear sort of difference to like the Moyes taking over Everton, is that we just felt a lot more solid and more tactically aware of what like everyone was meant to be doing, and now we're going to stop them from scoring. I think that was important for them.
No, you're correct in what you said, because most games that we've scrapped a draw out of, or even a win, the goalkeeper has been a massive part of that. And we've relied on, we said it in the last few weeks, haven't we? Saying, you know, it can't actually be a great defence if your goalie's making 6 or 7 saves to keep the score down. So it was really nice to see us scrap it out, and I mean, Pickford apparently made 1 save. I can't remember that save.
No, neither can
I can't remember that save, if I'm honest. I don't know which one it was, but second half he didn't really have to make any major saves. There was a lot of stuff happening in front of him, and the likes of when Brantwaite headed over that shot from the outside of the box, and there was the other one where the lad fizzed it wide. Yeah. But the way we played was even more compact, having almost like 5 at the back at times, either Linsom when he was on the right hand side, or Njai on the other side, really making it a 5. And when you've got something to cling on to, you can obviously do that. And obviously, the other side of the thing is that losing Dominic Calvert-Lewin after 13 minutes threw our game plan out the window. Absolutely, because Betto cannot play like Dominic Calvert-Lewin. No. They are chalk and cheese. Whether you like Dom or whether you don't like Dom, Betto is nothing like him. And if you set a game plan up to play off a player like Dominic Calvert-Lewin, you have to replace him with Betto. You're throwing that with that whole plan out the window effectively.
But he did go on to ultimately win the pen for us to close the game.
He did. No, I'm not having a go at Betto as such. I think it'll be tough with Everton and him are both going to have to change their styles in a way if he's going to play games. But he did win the pen by just
being big,
chasing after something, and forcing and being strong and forcing the lad into that lad. For me, that lad knew exactly what he was doing. He thought he was going to get a foul, and he's gone like that with it, as in to say, look, I'm getting pushed into this. And luckily, for once, the referee was strong. I mean, he wasn't strong on giving yellow cards out for pretending to be a seagull, which is definitely going to be, it's definitely the quiz question, isn't it, of the game. But for that, I thought he was very strong, because I was in that situation, loads of referees would have just gone, it's a foul, and that's how I get out of jail, basically.
Don't have to make the big decision, basically.
Yeah, and to be fair, it was VAR that told him to look at it. Whoever's on the VAR did a good job as well, especially after today, especially this morning here, and seeing the Arsenal red card and saying, people saying that the VAR should have been stronger in that and should have gone against them. So it was good that the VAR did spotlight it and the referee did look at it. And once he's looked at it, because once he's give the foul. Once he hasn't given a foul, and once the VAR look at it and see it's handball, there's nowhere for the ref to go. I suppose he has to give it.
There's that thing, isn't it? When you go to the monitor, you sort of know what's going to happen.
You like to think you do.
Yeah. But I don't understand how people are saying it wasn't a penalty, though.
No, I don't get their fans thinking.
I think even if it wasn't intentional, he's done enough where they get the advantage from the handball that it's still a pen. But it looks intentional as well. He looks like he just swipes at
Number
the ball.
one, it looks intentional.
Yeah.
And number two, he moved the ball with his hand.
Yeah.
He literally physically pushed it out for a corner. So it's for me, it's 100% a penalty. I
don't understand why people are saying otherwise. Like
when people at the game, emotions are high. And they don't always see. I know they showed it on the screen and that sort of, and you can show it on the screen once a decision's been given. And I know that enraged some of their players, but they were obviously saying it was a foul. When it wasn't a foul, not everything is a foul. Two players coming together isn't a foul. It's just one stronger than the other one. That's all it is. But it was just one of those days where everyone, you get through a game like that and everyone absolutely loves it, because you've shown all of the absolute right ingredients, and everyone gets a proper buzz out of that.
Yeah.
The fact that we scored and we held on for the second half and we were under so much pressure, and then we went down to 10 men. It galvanises everybody. Obviously last week in Spurs we scored goals, and everyone's like, "Oh, we can play a different way." But Saturday was just a case of getting through. And let's not forget, last year at Brighton, we were 1-0 up until like the 96th minute or something, and we conceded a goal. And that was a big blow. And just to get through this one was so important.
Yeah, I think as well, there was a lot of just really good individual performances where, they've put the effort in. You look at like Idrissa Gana Gueye, and even in Dye going into left back, and Jake O'Brien. I think it's just a bit of positivity to go on to like the next few games now. And I thought Gueye was unbelievable.
Oh, Ghana
at the end, he was just everywhere.
Ghana was unbelievable, wasn't he? He was absolutely unbelievable. He just kept on.
Felt like we didn't even have 10 minutes.
No. Well, that was the thing, wasn't it? Because we lost Mangala, obviously, and obviously we'll have to wait and see on that one, and that would be a big blow if we do lose him. I suppose the only thing with that is that James Garner did come back and got on the pitch and looked all right on the pitch, to be honest. But then it's one of those, isn't it? You go, oh, we got a like for like, yeah, but we just lost another member of the squad.
We're back in the position that we were before.
Yeah, exactly. So, the next game we might have another person to come on the pitch like we did in this one. Decore was genuinely really poor all game, wasn't he?
Yeah, very sloppy. There was a few good chances as well, but he could have just slid someone through. He just didn't do it. But still, the energy that's sort of what you're having for, isn't it? But even then,
Yeah, but it wasn't needed as much. There wasn't no press, was there, really, in this game? So therefore, a big part of that wasn't really needed, and he was so poor in possession.
Yeah.
And once Betto come on, those pair were like, it was like calamity, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was like absolute calamity, and you want to get hold of the ball up front, and neither could. And that's the big problem with Betto, whether people like him or not. He can't control the ball.
No.
So he can't get hold of. He never gets hold of a ball, and this is what I've always said about like playing him or playing Dom is he can't get hold of the ball and then start you off on a move. So everything with him is like the one at the end, the chance he had, where it's like, yeah, he creates something but it's like. It's him and the goal. There's nothing else.
Yeah.
There's like very little else. He never does. He never pulls it back. He never gets his head up. He never gets hold of
the tunnel vision in a way.
Yeah, he never gets hold of it and plays someone, holds on to it. So, Everton, obviously, we were looking for players already. So it's a case of we have to, whatever those plans were, maybe getting thrown out the window and start over again this week. And it might be a lot more crystallising now in terms of what they need. It might be almost easier in a way of going, right, we need to bring in this player because he does exactly what we need them to do. It's whether you can find that player. It's whether you can find that player. So, because I struggle to see how we play with Betto in the side, the way we want to play.
It'd have to be a whole switch up of how we've been playing now, because I think sort of his strength is like playing it in behind and him just running onto it, whereas right now it's Calvert-Lewin sort of takes it down, passes it out wide, and you build as like a whole attack. And I mean, you saw his goal against Peterborough, where when you do play him through and he's got that chance to just have a shot right away, that's a sort of a strength. It's that he can pull off a good. He had one as well against Brighton, where I think he just put it just left of the post.
Yeah, in the second half.
Yeah, and it's just that sort of his strength is like he just have that like powerful shot, and like he can just, I don't know, he can be a bit of.
He's a new nobody, is he? He can be hard, but you need more than that though. That's like when he first came on. There was one pulled back to him and he tried to trap it under his foot and it went under his foot. And then their player kicked on it normal, like it nearly went in for an own goal.
Yeah.
Like, he just doesn't have the fundamentals. And I know people go, he's chaotic and all this, but when you're actually looking to build a game plan and you need a centre forward to hold it all together, as be the linchpin to hold all this team together, you've got to have more than just a player who's going to be like cause trouble, because he doesn't cause enough trouble, does he? I mean, on Saturday, once he came on, we barely kept the ball up front.
Yeah.
And what I'm saying is, we do he can manufacture like opportunities, like chaotic, like through chaos, like winning the ball back and then running with it.
He slid tackled the keeper at one point.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. It's good.
But you just need that player who can hold the ball up, and he just can't do it. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. And as you said, like Mangala's the other one who, the one with that's like he jarred the knee, and I always worry about that jar in the knee. That often leads to. It doesn't lead to anything good. I know that. It very rarely leads to anything good. Often that can be. Yeah, we'll wait and see on that one. But
it's worrying. Though.
It is worrying. It is worrying, and I think there's so many games between. Well, there's no break now, is there? There's no break till like mid-March or towards the back end of March. So there's a lot of games to be played. And if they're out for, Dom's out for 2-3 months. Then that's 8-9 games in all competitions, and Everton after with no Brozier, obviously, no idea on Schmidt, which sounds like if they're not talking about him, sounds like he's nowhere near.
Even if he came back in now, would he even be ready? He had half a pre-season. It's been out for nearly 5 months. So it's like he's not going to be ready to just slot right back in.
Well, I'd love to know what the injury is, and if it's the same injury he got injured in the summer with. Yeah. Because, he was out till.
Because him and Brozier came back at the same time. They played in the 21 together, weren't they?
Yeah. Back in the November into December, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then got himself on the bench for the Chelsea game, I think, because Brozier wasn't available. and then got injured again. Don't know how, don't know what it is, and they're not saying anything about him.
It's weird, one.
That's
Because even then, you'd think they'd be considering like maybe a loan or something, just anything just to get his fitness, or whether they are going to keep him. It's just really is a weird one. But you'd be open. Everton have been looking at strikers regardless anyway, and they have a shortlist ready.
Had this conversation over the weekend, very same thing, saying like if Everton are looking past Dominic Calvert-Lewin, which they should be, surely there must be a list of centre forwards they're looking at, and surely one of the players on those lists, I mean, are they all high value targets? Are they all players that the money won't be there till the summer because of PSR? Or is there anyone on that list we could maybe go for now and get in early? Pay a smaller amount, pay whatever they need to up front, and then pay the rest as we do. David Murphy on the super chat says, "What a ridiculous rule! 3 substitute windows. That's completely gone against the ethos of the game. It's crazy to have 5 subs and concussion subs." I'll be honest, I think 5 subs is crazy anyway. Yeah. Obviously got brought in for when we were playing in COVID. The windows, I just find it strange that you can have a concussion sub, I get that, but the window, if it's a tactical sub, then I can understand why you can't have another window. I get that. Stops the game being broke up, I get that. But for when a player is seriously injured and you go down to 10 men.
I think that's, though, teams will start using that as sort of a tactic where, fake injury and then we get an extra free sub. It's
I just think that
isn't it?
There could be a way around it, though, couldn't he? I mean, we lost two players on Saturday through injuries. Obviously, one got a sub, and that's a window gone. So, I don't know. There must be a way around it. It's just 10 minutes to go. 10 minutes gone, and you're making subs. I don't know. I'm going to have to pull this one up again. I pulled this up on Saturday. Someone saying the same thing. How can Dominic Calvert-Lewin be a liability, right? When he has barely been injured for 18 months.
I was saying this.
He's barely been injured.
He's not been made of glass under dice. He's been fit enough the whole time.
So how is he a liability?
Yeah.
I don't. Someone said on Saturday that it was his fault. Like I don't get it. How can he be a liability? He hasn't missed a game this season up to this point. And last season, once we got past the first month of the season, he played every game bar the Chelsea game and the Brentford game, I think. I think that's all he missed in the run. Players get injured, and Everton have decided to keep him to the end of the season. So how was he a liability? When Everton brought in Brozier, who was a crock, who everybody knew in their heart of hearts was never going to get fit for us. So how is he a liability? Everton have made the decision to keep him. Everton could have sold him in the summer, but they made the decision to keep him. They made that. So I find stuff like that I find that stuff strange, very strange when people putting it on a player that is fit, that works his arse off to be fit, that probably lives his life to be fit. I don't get that at all.
TalkSport and everything, they were saying, he's made the glass and he's never fit for Everton anymore. And then they moan about him saying he doesn't score one in 16 games. It's like, how does he play all them 16 games if he's a liability and made the glass?
I've listened to the commentators on Saturday, and when he went off injured, you would think that he'd been injured all season, the way they were talking about him. We can have conversations about whether you think he's good enough, or his goal return, or how hard he works, or whatever it is. But when people put injuries on the player, I find that staggering. Unless you know that they live an absolutely terrible lifestyle, and that lifestyle contributes to them. Like Dom was out there. Dom has his own warm-up routines and all kinds.
But they said, didn't he came out a bit earlier than all the other players to do his routine before the actual squad routine. So like an extra warm-up so he can stay fit. But
it's mad. It's absolutely mad. I just find that mad. But yeah, 23 points. I mean, what do you think in terms of looking at the table now?
Yeah.
I mean, what is it? 7 points between us and Wolves.
Yeah. Between us and Wolves. Yeah.
7 points. So you'd think I think we need 12 points.
12.
Yeah, I think we need 12 points and that's like 12 points before Southampton, because I want to enjoy that game.
Yeah.
So I think we need 12 points, which is obviously starts with Saturday, and if we were to win Saturday, 3 points, then need 9 points with basically 2.5 months of the season.
Yeah.
You know, less than a point a game then, isn't it? I look at. I mean, obviously, if Leicester had got beat, that would have made it a lot better. That would have made it 2 perfect weekends. But listen, it wasn't to be, and that pushes them. What, they're 6 points behind us now, and that makes it a little bit like, well, it is a proper 6 pointer, isn't it, on Saturday, in terms of like just trying to get away from them. But Southampton gone. Aren't they? They're gone. They're never going to catch. Ipswich are starting to lose a lot of games now.
But they are making some like big signings.
No, well, I mean, are those signings really going to... I mean, they're all forward signings. The defence is...
And Godfrey.
I know, but Godfrey's not that good a defender.
Yeah.
I mean, they've conceded 10 in 2 games. I know it's against 2 amazing sides, but I think they've got Southampton coming up soon, haven't they? So that'll be a big opportunity for them. I think that's at home. So where they are is obviously, you know, you're looking at how many more points they're going to get. And then obviously Wolves, who were beaten by Arsenal, and they're like...
There's a bit of a meltdown just going on inside the actual club as well.
Yeah,
Seems like there's always just bad stories going on about players wanting to leave and arguing and fighting.
But I honestly, I do think it's about 12. I do think 12 points get us up to 35 would be...
Yeah, I think.
And I think the quicker we do that, the better. Everyone can just relax a little bit. Or certainly the quicker we get to like 30 points, everyone can... Because it is, I think... It is basically like now, it's around a point a game. We need, you know, that would get us, 38 points, I think it would be, wouldn't it? So for me, that's around that. I know people obviously will be a lot more, some people will be really relaxed about it. Some people will be like, I can't relax till we actually get there. But yeah, I'd say that. I'd say that's where we are now. But you just want to get to that next thing now, and that next thing's 30 points, isn't it?
Yeah, and then you can just sort of breathe a sigh of relief. But looking at the table, I know this is probably more of an M-Tech chat, but do you think Tottenham are going to slip in it as well?
Not really, no. It is mad. It is mad that we're closer to
Tottenham than...
We're closer to Tottenham and Palace and Man United and West Ham than
we've got a game in hand
to the bottom 3.
So when we win the derby, we'll overtake them.
Yeah. So we are obviously closer. We are closer to them, but it's more about when you think about the points you need. It's like you're in that mindset. I think it's the Opta thing, isn't it? Like we've got like a 3% chance of going down, but that 3% chance in our heads. Because talking about this yesterday about Spurs, you know, if we beat Leicester, we go above Spurs. Yeah. They don't play till Sunday, but then you look at Spurs and think, they'll get their players back soon that are out injured, and they'll then they'll be all right. But even if you Spurs, I don't think you're not looking at those teams. That's the mindset that we've been talking about this whole season. That mindset, it's that mindset of what we and Baz were talking about for a lot of the season. It's that mindset of the club of like.
Yeah, but do you not think that could play the opposite way though as well? That you think, we don't have to worry about this. And then when you do actually have to worry about it, no one's really prepared for it.
No, because I don't think so. Because I think at the end of the day, they're not...
I know individually you've got some great players.
It's all about winning games of football, isn't it? It's all about winning games of football. And I think, you know, you can get pulled into this like scenario of like relegation fights are somehow worse than others, or it's like you're stuck in like the tractor beam or something. But it's all about winning games of football. Remember when Carlo came in? It's like Carlo's never faced a relegation fight before, and it was like, yeah, but all he has to do is win games of football, and he's very good at winning games of football. Yeah. And we won like 3 of our first 4 or something like that, and straight away you're away. And that's what, like, that's the mindset thing of like going, can we look up now? Can we start like, can we
put it behind you? Yeah.
Put all that behind you and start looking up? And I guarantee, if Everton beat Leicester on Saturday, and do go above Spurs and get closer to Man United and get closer to Palace and get closer to West Ham, then I think that mentality shift, there'll be a mentality shift. If Everton were also, like, the other thing about it is if Everton was 7 points cleared the relegation zone, right, and it was like 2 or 3 teams between us and the team in third place, you'd be feeling so much better, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the same amount of points, but because there's teams in between us, I bet we'd all be like, we're not at 7 points. Look at the teams below us. We're not in this. It does come down to like pure mentality of how, and I think that's where Dyche got it completely wrong this season. Of that, kept on mentioning relegation, because it seeps in and it causes panic and it causes that thing of like, oh, we're in a dogfight and every game is this, and if you lose it, and it starts putting the pressure on everyone. And as I said, I think that word won't be allowed to be like uttered at Spurs. It's like, we're doing this.
But at what point does it get uttered? Because they've lost.
But the 8 points clear of the 8 points clear of Wolves.
But they have just lost the 2 teams that were arguably in it.
No, they have done.
And they've lost.
But do you honestly believe Spurs are going to be relegated this season?
No, I don't believe it.
So why would you let that enter your mind then if you were at Spurs then?
Because at the minute, they're like Everton, they just don't seem to know how to win.
But Everton do know how to win.
No, they do
2
now,
in a row.
But that was like the thing.
That's because of injuries, isn't it? That's because they've got loads of injuries.
Yeah. But
if they get some of those
players back and then get more injured.
No, I know, but if they get players back, then that's quality, isn't it? That if they get the centre, I just look at them. They're 8 points clear. I don't think for 1 minute they'll be looking at going, how do we get out of this crisis that we're in of like losing games? But I just don't think other clubs think like, to us it's like it's the holy grail because of what we can see at the top of the hill. Yeah. We can see at the top of the hill all the better things to come. That's what it's there. It's so tantalisingly close. And for the last 2 seasons, that's what we've been doing, isn't it? It's been like, get through this season and then get through that season. And as the ground's been getting built and we're getting closer, it becomes more like
it's almost there.
It's almost there. And now it's so tantalisingly close. I mean, you just think to yourself, 4 more wins.
It's done, yeah.
Or 3 more wins and 3 draws. Do you know what I mean? That's like, think about it like that.
Yeah.
Or 2 wins and 6 draws. That's 8 games. Do you know what I mean? It's like, if you think about it like that, that's where we are, and we're so close to that now, and it does become like, oh my god. But I think for like Spurs being like, it's just about taking that one game, and honestly, if you don't let it into your psyche, then for me it won't most like Man United yesterday were only like a couple of points above us.
Yeah.
But I don't think for 1 second, really, they're thinking about relegation or thought about relegation. It's just about, we've got to improve. We're trying to improve for this manager.
Get to there.
And that's where we've got to get to. We've got to get that sort of like that next win. So there's so much space between us. And that's why Saturday becomes a massive game. Because if we can get 9 points between us and Leicester, and obviously, and if those other teams...
Who are Wolves playing, do you know?
They play Villa at home.
It's a tough one.
So it's a tough one.
Yeah.
I think but if we were to just get like 9 points between us and Leicester, we're all thinking we're going to be all right here. Yeah. We're going to be all right. And that's what makes Saturday. And because it's like the 1st of February, you're thinking we'd have 29 points and we've effectively got 2.5 months to just get
European charge.
9 more points, 10 more points. And everyone relaxes a little bit. Everyone relaxes just that little tiny bit.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, right? The main part of it, we're just talking about relegation, to be our word for just 1 second, mate. There's not a chance on earth that we are anywhere near as bad as Southampton, Ipswich, Wolves, or Leicester. Yeah. In my eyes,
Leicester's team looks awful.
And I've been saying this all season personally. There was more to come out of this team, and we've seen it. Obviously, the injuries and the size of the squad is the issue, and that's why in the next week, it's important to just bring in a couple of clever signings that are gonna help the team. And there's no point now going, well, they have to be better than the players we've got. That's not really that hard when you play. Your squad hasn't got too many options in it. So But listen, you pick, as I said to you at the start, Dominic Calvert-Lewin going off after 13 minutes. We could have if we'd lost that game and then you lose Dominic Calvert-Lewin, then the world looks like a really dark place, doesn't it? It really does. And the fact that we've won that game and we've lost Dom is just part of it, isn't it? Can we just talk about Njai's booking for a second, though?
Yeah.
Right, because I know everyone's made fun of it, and it is funny, and a lot of I've noticed, like, I didn't watch Match of the Day too, so I don't know if they mentioned it, because that's the normal thing they do, sort of pick up on. But how ridiculous was that yellow card in context of some of the other yellow cards we've seen over the weekend, but also just the fact of, like, if he'd mistimed the tackle,
he'd be gone,
or being slightly aggressive, one of his yellow cards would have been for doing a bird impression. I mean, what is going on?
Richarlison should have been booked every game then for Everton.
Yeah.
I mean, especially as well, if you go back, Vardy's done it, and he done it way more, like, theatrical, and he never got booked for it. And then as well, against Tottenham, when he scored, he was pointing at, like, the Premier League thing to try and rile their fans up, and never got a booking for that. So it's just that sort of thing where the rules aren't the same for everyone. It's like every game can be different. But I get booked for.
I just don't understand what he's being booked for, though.
No.
Like, how is it inciting he might have been a Philadelphia Eagles fan.
Maybe.
Big into the NFL. And he's like, giving it the big and going, I'm looking forward to the lads getting to the Super Bowl. Here's my support for them. Like, I don't get that. I know people will laugh it off, but that is daft. That is so, like, players get booked. I know players get booked all the time for, like, celebrating, but he didn't take a shit. Like, he wasn't even aggressive either. He didn't get like a seagull in a headlock. Like, if he ran over and grabbed hold of the mascot and started having a go with them, you'd get it, wouldn't you? But what is going on when that's a real thing? Yeah,
it made no sense at all. And you are right. Imagine he did get sent off, and it was like, what was your first thing? And it was pretending to be a seagull.
Yeah,
it's mental.
Yeah, I find that very, very strange. I also find it, like, when we're talking about, like, VAR and decisions, like the fact that if someone does get sent off, you wouldn't be able to argue your way out of that either. Like you wouldn't be able to, like, you'd get done, and then that would be the end of it. You couldn't go to, like, the FA and go, you booked us for being a seagull, mate. That would be the end of it. It would just be the most Everton thing in the world for a player to be booked for doing a seagull. Absolutely crazy. I don't know what the world is coming to. Baz is on the overlap today, so that should be interesting. Baz gets an opportunity to be happy on the overlap. Yeah. I'm just trying to see if Match of the Day. No, I don't think they made anything about it. I don't think. No, I don't think they did. Let's have a look at some of your comments. AJ No says, I'm seeing so many different videos. I think we need to come up with a decision whether he's got grey hair and we don't care, or red hair. We need a club statement from the Messiah on the matter. No, I don't. I think we leave that song, and I like the, remember, oh Davy Moyes. Go to that, because that gets rid of the hair situation. You're not upsetting anyone with red hair or grey hair or anyone.
Does it upset you?
Not really, no. Because mine is not red. And we just go with Davy Moyes. Yeah, that's a much better song. People, I think, have forgotten that one. That's a much better one than he's got, because we stopped singing that after about 3 seasons, I think. He's got red hair and we don't care. We left that in the past. Harry James Tattoo says, getting booked for a celebration. A succulent seagull celebration.
Yeah. Well, do you remember as well when we played Brighton? Well, you shouldn't have glad us. So when Minty got that assist, he sort of went to the crowd and started, like, cheering. Nothing happened to him.
Listen, nothing should happen to any of them.
That's what I mean.
Unless they jump into the crowd.
But that was more inciting the fans than what indicted them.
But this inciting the crowd is nonsense.
Yeah.
Unless you jump into the crowd, or unless you do something, like, so extreme.
Yeah. Can't ignore them.
Leave them alone. The football players, if they want to celebrate, they take loads of grief off us, right? Yeah. So if they want to celebrate, let them celebrate. What a load of nonsense inciting the crowd. Grow up. Grow up. Doing that is not inciting the crowd.
No.
I mean, I'll be honest. I don't even know what it is anyway. I don't even know what he was doing anyway.
Just being a seagull.
Why is he being? But they're seagulls. So why was he being a seagull? Was he freeing the seagull?
Sure, he just embodied the seagull.
I didn't get it. Or maybe he's being something bigger than a seagull that was going to get the seagull.
Maybe he's just saying how stupid it is that they're called the seagulls.
Maybe. Fair play to them. I mean, it is really stupid, isn't it? You're a seaside town, you've got some seagulls, you're going to stick a seagull on your badge. Wow. Anyone in the country, everywhere in the country could do that.
Yeah.
Everyone could say, so you've exclusively got seagulls? I don't think so. Also, let's get one of your seagulls and let's go to like Llandudno or Whitby and let's see how long that seagull lasts in a place like. I mean, I've never been to Brighton and I'm sure it's a lovely place, but I just feel like a Llandudno
they've got a bit about them.
Yeah, or a Blackpool one or a Whitby one.
Blackpool one's a bad one.
Or a Scarborough one. I just think they've got something more about them. They're strutting around, but just like, lad. Proper giving it the bifters.
They're the ones.
They're the ones. I'm not seeing it, basically. I don't know. Also, it's Brighton. How is anyone inciting a Brighton crowd? Do you know what I mean? It's not like Brighton have got like a reputation of having like ultras, is it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's not like they're sitting there with their ultras. Their ultras are all sitting there in seagull costumes going, what lad? Come on,
That makes it worse though if they're in seagull costumes.
Let's go to Whitby. Yeah. If your logo is a seagull, how hard can your firm be? And what's your firm called?
The Seagulls.
You can't be called the Seagulls because that's the nick. I don't know. I don't know. Jake Ablett says with Njai now identifying as a seagull. When is he having a fight with Ned?
Fair enough.
I don't know. Rob the East Belfast Toffee says credit where it's due. I said I didn't want Moyes back and would back him for now, but I'm loving the way he talks about the team and the way he has us playing. We're a long way off where we want to be, but we're heading in the right direction. I just like, Rob, you're absolutely right, but I just like the fact that we've definitely got an Everton man as the Everton manager.
Yeah, somebody cares.
Like, it's the equivalent of having, when people go, oh, bring back Dunk or bring back so and so. Moyes is like is the manager version of that. He never played for us, obviously,
but he's got that reputation.
But being at the club for 13 years makes him an Everton man.
Yeah,
there's no way around it. Sorry, 11 years. There's no way around it. He's an Everton man.
Yeah,
and that's the end of it. So you can see, he said it himself. They asked him on Match of the Day, like, does that feel more special being, because you're an Everton man? And he was like, yeah. Because he's an Everton man. He's always been an Everton man. Do you know what I mean? He left us because he wanted to take his career to the next level. It never quite worked. Took him a while to get back sorted again. Went to West Ham, did really good at West Ham, but it's never the same. He's come to a place that he actually loves. Yeah. And he still lives not too far away. His family home's not too far away. So he's an Everton man. He'll come into every day with a smile on his face. And for me, that's,
it's very different to what we had before.
Yeah, and that's not criticising as such. But I think a big part of the last people, and I think, again, we've talked about it, so we're not saying anything we've never spoke about, but when your manager's given himself a Monday morning off so he can go back to London to be with his family, that's not an ideal situation. It just isn't. And when your manager, is living in a penthouse flat with one of the coaches and all that kind of thing, and then he's taking tactical decisions from 40-year-old ex-players who played 40 years ago,
and his gigs in as well.
Yeah, it's so, to me, he's the right man at the right time, and he's come in and he's doing the job. And
I think if you're a player as well, if you see the manager really care about the results and the job, then make you pay that little bit extra as well, innit?
Yeah, I think as well. But what's good about it is when you saw him at the end of the match on Saturday and how much it meant to him going over hugging the players. he's got a license to do that because you know it does actually mean something to him.
Yeah.
So when Dyche was stepping on the pitch and just clapping people, you knew that's fine because you know that's his level of he's just doing a job.
Yeah.
And that's fine. No issue with that at all. Some managers just do it for... But I think as football fans, we want our players and we do want our managers to identify with us. And if you got like that ready-made person who can do that.
I think as well for how big of a season is with it being Goodison's last season, it's like you do want that sort of like sentimental feeling, don't you? And someone that cares that it is the last season and this won't be a thing for much longer. I don't think you got that with Dyche at all. And he didn't even really try and like harness the power of like what Goodison could have been. What?
No, you don't get that. Sorry, you don't get that.
I'm
It's a He-Man joke. It's before your time.
Sorry. But yeah, he was... What was I even saying? Oh yeah, he didn't really like harness like the power of what Goodison could have been and sort of talked it down that like just because it's Goodison's last season doesn't mean it's going to make us any better. But he's like Moyes just came in and he's...
What an immediate slap in the face that was. Doesn't matter, that's the last season. That's not what I'm here for, basically. That's what he's basically saying. Yeah. And that's not how you help yourself in a job.
Get everyone together,
You know.
Mental.
Yeah. AJ No says, how many do you think we will actually get by Friday? Well, the window doesn't shut till Monday. So, there's a week. The window doesn't shut till next Monday. 11 o'clock next Monday. I know that because next Monday we'll be here all day. I don't know if James knew that, but...
I did ask Baz.
No, there you go. That's what I like to hear. James wants to be at like 2 in the morning.
I was here nice and early. I was here way before bed.
Oh, mate. I had the worst night's sleep ever. Like the worst night's sleep. Like my watch even told me, like basically when that was the worst night's sleep you've ever had.
Did you go on a run yesterday?
Yeah.
Did it just kill you?
15k.
Yeah, any hills?
No. It'll kill me, man. It's because I went for a 10k on Friday and I went too fast. And then yeah.
Just done yourself in.
It's done me in. I had such a bad sleep. Such a bad sleep. Yeah. But listen, that's why you're here. You're here to hold the fort down.
Yeah.
That's why you're here.
All our thumbnails ready to go, everything. Flying.
This lad, flying. Honestly. Be working for Everton in no time. Drinking the juice. The Everton juice. The Everton juice. This lad will make Everton. Be making them. He'll be making them. He'd be honestly. Helen says, I think he's self-identified as grey. Helen, I don't think he's got any choice.
No.
He is very much a man of greyness now, isn't he? I just don't know why we have to sing about someone's hair colour, though.
No. Yeah. Well, why is that his defining feature?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What would you choose as a different option? What do you think's significant about them?
Nothing. I don't know why we have to get into like what someone's like personal appearance is as part of a song. I got it when it was red hair. That made sense.
Yeah.
It shouldn't.
Yeah.
It shouldn't. Hair colour shouldn't matter. But I can testify as someone who grew up with hair that immediately allows people to just give you abuse for no other reason. Hair colour shouldn't be an issue.
If it helps, I started getting greys when I was 17, and that's me now. Just salt and pepper.
Hey, mate, I'm not being funny. Give it a few years when it comes in and you look like Doctor Strange. I'd be all over that, mate. I would be embracing it. And Reed Richards as well. Reed Richards and Doctor Strange have got very much the grey temples and it makes them look more intelligent. It defines you, that. Defines you. Baz has got the grey, but I see Baz's hair. He should go to a proper stylist. I've told Baz this for years. He should go to a proper stylist and just let the person do the magic on his hair. Honestly, the man could be. You won't remember this, but when Carl sorted Homer's hair out and Homer became like an executive, that's what Baz would be like if you just went. Told me you should just go to my barbers. You should just come and see Darren. Darren just sorted. Honestly, it'd be like.
But he has to go to Ormskirk, order.
Well, he does. I'm going on Wednesday actually, so. But that's fine. Ryan says, has Tello ran out of names in his notebook? Surprised. Not even Nonto's been linked to this.
I did see one the other day that was Nonto to Everton. But that's just easy ones now, innit?
Someone's just said in the comments, getting Grays at 17, Everton.
I put full blame on Everton.
No, Baz couldn't get hair like Sue Smith. That's a terrible thing to say. I wonder who's taller, Baz or Sue Smith.
Should we find out?
You should get Sue in just. Yeah, but how are you going to compare? How do you know Baz's height?
How tall would you say Baz's?
Well, no, if you ask what Baz's height is compared to what his real height is, they're going to be different.
But if you had to guess,
I'd say 5'8".
I'd say about 5'8". She's 5'4". He's definitely not 5'4".
Yeah. Do you know I used to be Sue Smith's postman?
Did you?
Yeah.
You was a postman as well.
Yeah.
You've had loads of mad jobs.
I know. Preparing myself for this life.
Fair enough.
I was going round all the terrible jobs to like give me the ambition to do like what I wanted.
Fair enough. And it worked.
And it worked, mate.
Mm.
It worked. So, oh my God, that's a job when if you there's never enough sleep when you're a postman ever. I mean, it's getting summer with your shorts, rocking your shorts and that.
Yeah.
But you know,
Everything like that. They've always got a gilet on.
a gilet. Didn't have gilets back when I was doing it. Emma reckons she's 5 foot, but she's about she reckons she's 5'4", so she's about 5'4". There's you're a 5'4" Goff though. That's different, isn't
Doc
it?
Martens.
That's different. The Doc Martens and the Pearsons and the black eyeliner, they make you look taller than you are. So, come on. Simon Taylor says, "Hi guys, it's like watching a different team. We were on the front foot, especially in the first half, not sitting back waiting to get beat or hanging on for a 0-0. We were heading down under dice, I have no doubt."
Mm-hmm.
No, I agree. And what I will say about Saturday was the first 15 minutes I was a little bit worried.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't quite understand what we were trying to do. But basically you can see what he said to them is like, don't be scared of the ball.
Yeah, because there was a lot of passing around the back. And
Yeah. But it's clear that he's gone, get used to playing that with the football because that's what you're going to be doing. And
you're not just going to be hoofing it.
You're not going to be hoofing it. So he is asking them to play and they are getting more comfortable. And it's almost like that thing of like back yourself and if we do lose the ball, we'll be all right.
Well, it goes back to our debate that we had the day, weren't it, where if you have tactics and you keep using them, you're going to learn stuff from them no matter what, and eventually it'll work. But
it's like anything, mate. It's like when you're a kid. I remember kids footy, playing kids footy. And when you were a kid, the goalie picked up the ball and you just hoofed it up the pitch.
Yeah.
And then it was all about just scoring goals. But I remember in training, didn't always, most of that was because of the pitches. But I remember in training, you do the same thing and the best coaches would always go, what are you doing? Like, just put the ball on the ground and let's play two-touch. And you get sick of playing two-touch. We all just want to score. We all want to dribble. And it's like, yeah, but you'll learn nothing doing that. And I remember there was that video in the summer, wasn't it, of Everton training. And all they were doing long balls. And I put something on social media about it. And I got a little bit of stick about it. Quell surprise. I was like, it's training though. Surely the most simple thing in the world is just to play a long ball. Like, you don't need to be trained to do that, do you?
Just got to look up.
You just got to hit it. Look up, hit it, and hope your centre forward does something.
Look up half the time.
Yeah. So actually learning to pass the ball, you have to start it somewhere. And I've noticed this against Spurs. We were trying to do it, and it can be nerve-wracking. And the crowd will get a bit like tense at times, especially in the position we are. Yeah. But if we can get ourselves out of this situation, like we're saying, as early as possible, and we start doing that with the ball, then you have to start somewhere. You have to learn and become confident and start pulling teams in. And the perfect example is that anyone who goes back 18 months ago, so when we played Bournemouth, and Bournemouth were trying to play it round at the back, and we beat them 3-0, and everyone walked out going, God, we thought we were bad. Yeah. They're terrible. And look at them now. I mean, they absolutely destroyed Forest on Saturday.
After destroying Newcastle as well, which is mental.
9 goals in 2 games against two of the best teams. Well. Two of the best teams in the league.
That's mental. I
mean, Liverpool will still beat them at the weekend, but that's because it's...
and they don't have a striker.
And they don't have a striker. Yeah. They've got half a team missing or whatever it is, and they're still... Because they're so confident in what they do. And that's what you have to do. You can't if you just keep playing the same tactics and don't evolve them, or you go, and this is the biggest one. This is what makes me. This is what when he played and died for 20 minutes, and people went, "See, can't do it," and you're like, "What are you? What?
Yeah.
How? This is what blows my mind about football. Is like people who've post off the knowledge think that you can play someone in a position for 20 minutes,
and get the results instantly. Yeah,
and that's it. That's the end of it. And it's the same with passing. How are Everton going to be like a hybrid team? Because that's what we want to be, isn't it? We want to be a hybrid. No one wants to see us play like Man City. Let's be honest, right? No, ever. Even if we had the best players,
you still want it. You want a big striker who you're whipping crosses into, but you also want some nice passing sometimes.
Like Bournemouth do.
Yeah.
Like Bournemouth do. So Everton fans want to see intensity, bit of passing, getting it wide, getting it in the box, scoring goals. That's what Everton fans want, and there's a few teams out there who do at the moment. No one wants to be a 70 passes and then start again. No one wants that, which is what we were trying to be under Martinez. But the only way you're going to start getting the passing bit of it to suck teams in, to allow you to play the other way, is by starting to get comfortable on the ball. And that's what you've seen in the last few games.
Yeah.
Hakan says only Betto is almost as bad as when we had Rondon and no other. I wouldn't say. I don't know. I think
Betto's better than Rondon.
He can run.
Yeah.
And his shorts fit him. His top never used to fit him. His top, when he was Hummel, it never fit him. But the Castor ones fit him. I don't know. Maybe someone just took his size properly. I think
we've had a lot worse strikers than Betto.
No, I think we have. I mean, don't get.
I think if I name like at least 4.
Name them.
Tosin. I'd say Rondon. I'd say Sandro Ramirez. Never really got a chance, but I'd say Josh King. I think Betto's better than him.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. For us, probably, but I don't know. Ian the Blues this afternoon, I'm praying that Moyes has got some players lined up this week. Would you go all out and spend a lot on a forward, or split it on 2 or 3 players? A forward is more is even important now. I don't know. I just know we need a centre forward, and if that means we need to sell, because there was a rumour before saying we might sell Betto to help fund a centre forward. That's a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
But at least what we do know is that someone wants Betto, but it's whether we could get a striker in. That's the problem.
But it's just that thing. Surely they've got a big shortlist, because we ended the last transfer.
What if we've
window.
got a short big list?
Yeah, a big short. I don't know. But we ended the last transfer window. No one needed a winger and no one needed a striker, and we never managed to get really either of them. Oh well, we did with Brozier, but I don't really think he counts as a winger. You must have been ready in January with players like to go. Maybe it's just been they haven't been able to get like the money in time or whatever, but there must be people ready. I think probably now we'll start hearing more, won't we?
Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah. I know a lot of people are getting really worried about it. And I know it's difficult not to get worried about it, because you can't tell people how to feel. I understand that.
Yeah.
Because you came in before and like, I don't feel like we're going to get anyone. But my answer to you is, the longer it goes on, the more likely we will get somebody. Because if they take him,
it's more likely we'll get someone a quote. We're not like rushing into anything, but I think with last time, we waited so long for players that we ran out of time in the end of getting that winger. And that was the worry of that. I just don't want that repeating.
Yeah, and I fully agree. I think the problem is the target keeps changing, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like we might, let's just say, and I'm not saying, what if we had someone lined up for today, right? I don't know. Right midfielder, ready to go. Everton were about to pull the trigger on it.
Yeah.
And then Dom happens. And you've got Dom and Brozier. And Brozier, okay, Alan Mize reports that Brozier's staying. But I just can't see how we can keep him. I just can't see how we can keep him.
Especially when they've got 3 players who we could use when Chilwell, Chuckle.
So how can we keep, unless someone's gone Brozier's injury's not as bad as what we first thought, right? And because it's not as bad, and maybe Dom's is like 2 to 3 months, they might go, right, we can cope with a month, maybe.
Betto,
But the point being is you've got to get all that information. So Dom going for a scan, finding out what the diagnosis is, 100% knowing what Brozier is, 100% knowing what Schmidt is, and making a decision and getting your heads around it. And they'll be in a room, they'll be making room in a room with targets, people out there, and doing the work on behalf of the club. I'm sure Kenny Moyes is involved as well.
Yeah,
David Spalding,
a bit, hasn't he?
going out there, finding out who's available. People will be, by the way, right now, football clubs and agents will be throwing players at us left, right, and centre. There'll be so many players getting thrown at Everton right now.
Yeah.
That they will have to. That's another part of it. They will have to sift through all that information of like who's available, like, and all that has to be looked at. Now, there's a week to go.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got the Leicester game between now and then. Can you get through that one game? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But what Everton have to do this week is really, and when I say this week, I mean like today, nail down what the targets are and aggressively go after them. But the other thing is, we don't know what the PSR is. You know, it's been hinted at.
Well, yeah, he said, didn't he, in the press conference that, you know, I'm starting to understand, you know, what the restrictions and stuff are at Everton at the minute. So maybe there is some issues like PSR wise, but I think he's always been confident that we can make signings.
Yeah.
I think that shouldn't like be forgotten, really.
It's been hinted at loads by the football club that the situation is still very tight. And what I think the situation they don't want to be in is, if we buy a player now, that absolutely guarantees that we must sell a player at the end of the season.
Yeah.
And that selling a player would have to be Branthwaite. And immediately you've just gambled away your future on a player, and if everybody knows that, then he'll go cheaper.
Yeah.
And that's a big decision to make, because Everton could turn around to Branthwaite in the summer and go, "You're not going anywhere. You signed a contract, and we don't want to sell you.
Loads left as well, hasn't he?
You've signed the contract. We don't want to sell you. We see a bright future. We don't think
to be a part of it.
We don't think the time is right for you to leave anyway, because it's only like Man City. And Man City aren't coming in for a Mardy, let's be honest.
Exactly. Centre-halves as well.
I mean, after that lad's first game, you never know. No, but so there's so many decisions, and it is really frustrating. And I get it. It's like the worst. This week is like when you know, again, that desperation of like, you're so close, but you're so far away, and you know you need new players, and we're one injury.
You just don't want it to be the last day, and then we just get some mad link where.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's why this week is so important.
Ryan Fraser or something.
That's why this week is...
Well, Amaran's gone, hasn't he?
Well, no, that's why this week is so important, isn't it? It's so important that we nail down what we want and who we're after.
Get a proper list,
this week. But that PSR really, really does cause problems in this way. You know what you want. It's whether you're allowed. And as I said, it really does limit you. In terms of like, we'll spend all this money, but you're gonna have to put that. You're gonna have to. It's almost like you're lending from yourself, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're borrowing from yourself, but that has to be paid back by the 1st of July, and it's whether you can get rid of those players, that player, by the 1st of July. Otherwise, you're gonna fail. You could fail PSR.
Does all them players going off the contract though at the end of the season? That'll take a lot of PSR, won't it?
That'll be for next season, though, won't it?
Oh,
so that's what I'm saying. It gives you that. That's what I'm saying. The last day of June, you have to sell a player like we did with Richarlison to balance that season up.
Yeah.
So those players going out of contract, that starts on the 1st of July. So that frees up next year. But this is the problem. So you could sell. Maybe you could. That's what I'm saying. That's when they said we could sell Betto. That suddenly might free us up for like we could go and get 3 signings by selling Betto. Because of the way PSR works. Do you know what I mean? It's such a complicated, convoluted, stupid thing, really, isn't it?
It's not really any other like sellable asset at the minute either that you can see leaving.
Again, a comment here: PSR for every club except City. Is that the same Man City that sold a player for nearly 100 million in August?
Yeah, and it's winning trophies as well, isn't it? Because that was like Chelsea's thing.
They bring in money.
Yeah,
they bring in money. Clubs who bring in money don't struggle with PSR. But Man City sold a player for £95 million in August. That's how they're PSR compliant. So it's yeah. Everton have got a lot of juggling to do this week, I'd say. Let's have a look. Bill says great win. Leicester have been Leicester's become a bigger game. We can really look up if we win that. We need additions even more now. Jake says, I think people are too quick to tell you Betto is a crap footballer, never gets given a run of games. Mate, there's a reason why he doesn't get given a run of games, mate. He can't trap a bag of sand. Says he only normally brought on, we need something from the game, and his pressing was great, and that's what won us the penalty. I know, mate, but he can't trap a bag of sand. That's there's a reason why managers don't play him. It's because he's technically not a very good footballer. He just isn't. Yeah,
he's fast, powerful, and he's got a good finish, but actually dribbling, even dribbling's not too bad, but when it comes to his feet, it always bounces off him. It's like they're on his limbs.
He can't keep hold of the ball.
I think when you've got Decore behind him as well, you either need someone who can play it nice behind them, or for him to sort of work.
As a centre forward,
you can't have chaos and chaos.
If you're providing them with crosses and the ball all the time, it might be different, but we don't. We need a certain skill set, and only Liam Neeson has that skill set. The ball just bounces off him, and that the fundamental part of being a Premier League footballer is you have to be able to control the ball. You have to. Mark says, do you think Everton versus Brighton could become one of those rivalries? No. Let's just make sure it's not one of those rivalries. Also, did you see the Nice fans banner directed at Mopai the weekend? I heard about it, yeah. It wasn't very complimentary, was it? About him or his mum. Adam says, what on earth is the 3-sub window all about? Surely if a club is down to 10, a team is down to 10 men, has a sub say there has to, yeah.
I just don't see why you can't use someone else's window. You're not stopping the game anymore, though.
No, I know.
That's why I just don't just have them ready, and then as soon as Brighton brings someone, you just bring them on. Then
Mark wants Tammy Abrams. His injury record's not great either. He's on the bench for Milan at the moment. Blue Keely says, hate the narrative that Dom was always injured. He also says we beat Leicester on Saturday, then we stopped looking down and start looking up. Ian says, I think he was booked because he did it in front of the fans. Yeah, but the fans are all... You do everything in front of the fans. There's nothing a footballer does that isn't in front of the fans. He just ran and they started doing that. It was pathetic. Blue Keely says, I thought he looked more like an eagle than a seagull. There you go. That's why I said Philadelphia Eagles. Graham says, I read that our manager asked the ref as to why Pickford didn't get a second yellow for time wasting. The ref told him that I'm not sending a player off for time wasting. That's never getting said by a referee. Mm-hmm. Blackpool Seagulls are elite. Consistently have to guard your Gregs and small dogs. That's from Blue Keely. I mean, the answer to that is just don't go to Blackpool. Phil says, how
harsh on Blackpool?
It's not. It's not a good place. Phil says, how would you feel? How would we feel though if someone scored a goal against us and then did an impersonation of a Toffee? I'd be impressed.
Yeah,
I'd be impressed.
What would he even do? Just that, or the Richarlison?
I'd be really impressed. Or a tower, just stood there and went. I'd be really impressed by that, mate. I've seen Steven Gerrard come over to the Galaxy, cup his ear, and run all the way down to his own fans. When players score against you, it's the fact that they score against you is the main issue. Who cares how they celebrate?
Yeah.
People need to go. Football fans give players loads of grief and then can't take it when football players give it back.
We talked about on Round the Tower, didn't we, about our favourite celebrations and that, like Adebayor one.
Yeah.
We turn in front of their fan. It's just adds to the drama of it, isn't it?
Exactly. Paul Power says, afternoon, mention on Thursday and marrying a red on Friday. I got the last laugh after Paul Power because we are born on the same day. Not my wife has the same surname. Now my wife has the same surname as an ex-Everton player. Yeah. Couldn't you change your name to Max though? Wouldn't that be better?
There's a lad in my school called McPartland. My year.
Didn't play for
It's
Wigan, did he?
a superhero name, that, isn't it?
Well, it was what Homer changed his name to in The Simpsons, wasn't it? Max Power. And people started paying more attention to him. And then also he was a player for Tranmere who went to Wigan. He was a decent player. Yeah. Also, I'll say what I said about Betto the other day. I don't put the blame on him for how raw of a player he is. I put that on the last set of coaches who clearly have not done anything to him and have not helped him in any way.
Yeah.
Massively, massively strange that they haven't helped them at all. Umar's Locker says, I live in Brighton. My kids were actually looking forward to school for once. He's right. Jay Ratcliffe says, if Spurs aren't in the battle, then we aren't. I know, that's what I'm saying. It's a mentality thing, isn't it? It's a mentality thing. If we'd thought like that all year, then you look at things different. You can only ask a Spurs fan how they feel. Loads of people right now be looking at Everton going, no, he's a sound.
Yeah.
He's a 7 points clear of 3 teams that are terrible. Like, but no one can tell you that, can they? No one can tell you that you're in it or out. Everton need like literally a point a game for the rest of the season, which is just you go that's what we've got so far.
So we had on the day train.
So that's we should be absolutely fine. But no one can tell you that. Spurs fans will go, yeah, but we're going to get him back, and we will be completely different team. Whereas Everton, we go, we're a point behind them. We go, yeah, there's no one really coming back, is there? And the players we've got have just got injured, so it's like a completely different mindset. Emma says, Gary Bartles stifled Betto. There you go. That sounds like a great name for a band. Gary Bartles stifled Betto.
Nice.
I like that.
What songs would he sing?
I'm just trying to... What kind of music would they play? I think they'd be like...
American.
Indie. Punk pop.
Yeah.
Punk pop band. Yeah. That's what I'm going for. Yeah. Listen, yeah, Philip, I agree, mate. That, you don't feel safe till you are safe. They wouldn't be a goth band because goths wouldn't know who Betto was or Gary Bartles was, would they? Let's be honest. They wouldn't have a clue. They'd be like, to me, it sounds like a band from the early 90s.
Like Stacey's Mum.
That's a song. That's not
but that's like the type of music.
Yeah. I don't think that was late. I don't think that was like early 2000s.
Close enough.
That was like early 2000s. I think they'd be like, what was it, like Ned's Atomic Dustbin? That was a real name of a band. Emma, you're just a goth who's got an interest in football.
Goth with a special interest?
Yeah, with a special interest. That you're a one-off goth. You're just a one-off goth. I don't know. You're a goth who's got bored with the goth lifestyle, and you've come over to the other side. You've left the dark side and come over. I don't know. Fountains of Wayne. There you go. That was them who sung Stacey's Mum. She's got it going on with one of the best videos ever, by the way. It's tremendous. There you go. You got nothing to add, have you, at all to that? No.
About
No.
a music video?
Yeah. I don't know. Just waiting for you to provide
I can't really remember the music video, to be honest.
Okay.
I'm guessing it's just him.
No, it's got Rod Stewart's ex-wife in it, who is playing the title role of Stacey's mum. And
she's got it going on.
She's got it going on, very much so. She is very, very much got it on. And what's interesting about that, when Rod Stewart divorced her, married a woman who looks exactly like her, which proves that Rod Stewart has a particular type. Rachel Hunter it was, of course. She is from... Is she Australian? She is Australian. And then he married another woman who looks exactly like her. And I can understand why. Both of them are... Yeah.
Fair enough.
Both of them have got it going on. They have got it going on. It's a bit of a weird video because the lad's in the backyard with.
Isn't it? She's been a bit weird as well.
Well, no, in
She's
his
like doing stuff.
in his mind, she get a massage, isn't she? And the lad's sitting there, and the lad looks about 12, and he's with like his girlfriend, but the lad is like more interested in her mum. But at the same time, that lad doesn't look old enough to have an interest in either of them. It's a bit weird. We're going down a dark hole here now. I don't really want to go any further with that. But Stacey's mum did have it going on. Bowling for Soup. That was another band. They were like punk pop.
Bowling for Soup?
Yeah. They had one decent song, and I can't remember. Oh, what was the song? But it was good. It was a good song.
1985.
No.
That's the top one that comes up.
No. Yeah, it is a weird video. That is a weird video. Go back and watch it. It's weird. The lad's far too young. He's far too young. He's too young to be having those kinds of ideas. Yeah, girl, all the bad guys want. That was not from 1985. Not a chance.
No, that's the song.
Oh,
that was the one I said to you.
Sorry.
That's the top one that comes up when you Google.
Is it? Yeah, I need to listen to that because obviously 1985 is it? Is it? Yeah, it's a good. Yeah. It's a good song. They're quite like funny. They're quite like self-deprecating. Wheatus were another one. There's another one who did another song which has Everton attachments to it. They also sung "Teenage Dirtbag." Are you aware of that song?
Yeah, there's a dead high pitch. I've seen the video. I thought it was like a voice changer, but it's actually
no, it's actually in. But in the video, the girl from American Pie sings it. And it's weird because she's singing it, but it's actually the lead singer.
Fella, yeah.
So it's weird. Again, it's one of those things that plays your mind. Anyway. There we go. We always have to finish the show with just a little bit of like weirdness, because otherwise, what's the point of life? James says Sandro Ramirez has 7 goals and 3 assists in 18 games this season.
Isn't it
the
like
level we're looking at. That is the level we are looking at.
We were sold a lie with him.
Well, don't forget, we only paid £5 million for him, but we paid his wages were ridiculous.
I just remember everyone saying how good he was, and you'd see the pictures of him celebrating like Messi and that. I just was convinced that
he had a great season, didn't he? He had a really good season.
Great PR.
Yeah. Right, we'll be back at about 2:30 for MTAG. So stay with us for all your general football chatter. We'll be doing the final word as well at 4:30. So see you then. Bye.